50-win seasons, 21 consecutive trips to the playoffs, and 5 NBA championships. You will see moments from all of those times. One of the greatest franchises in NBA history. It's Spurs Day, Wednesday, only on NBATV. Now, the San Antonio Spurs, of course, have made a major change. We know they've moved Kawhi Leonard, and now he is gone, and now DeMar DeRozan is in San Antonio. So with it being Spurs Team Day, we wanted to look at the Spurs roster going into the next season. Of course, get your expert analysis on what you're thinking. Will it be 22 consecutive seasons going to the postseason? Starting, of course, with DeMar DeRozan and his addition. What are your thoughts, Coach?
It's kind of interesting to think about this team. On one hand, you look and say, if they can stay healthy enough during the course of the year with a couple of the older bodies, then they're good enough to win their share of games. On the other hand, if they get a key injury or two, okay, this team could drop off the ledge quickly. But adding DeRozan, when you think about it, a 23-point scorer, and to me, remember, San Antonio was one of the lower teams in the league as far as three-pointers taken and three-pointers made. We're talking about 26, 27, or 27, 28 last season in those particular areas. You get DeRozan coming in now, and this is kind of interesting for them. From 2009 to 2017, think about this. With DeRozan, he took just 1.4 three-pointers a game, okay? This past year, he was up to 3.6. When you look at makes, he made less than 0.5 a game. This year, he was over 1. He more than doubled that per game, and got his field goal percentage up to 31%. So they're adding something that they really struggled in last year, a three-point shooter. But they've got the veteran guys back once again, Aldridge, Pau Gasol, DeJounte Murray in the backcourt, Ginobili's back. They brought back, okay, once again, Bellinelli, the shooter, to help them out. There's your veteran guys. And then when you look at the younger guys they got in that trade, Podol, I like his ability really well. This could be a very solid team during the upcoming season.
Indeed, it could. Now, Rudy Gay had some interesting comments talking about maybe potentially this team flying under the radar, saying they don't have many expectations for us since, you know, they lost one of the best players in the NBA. They don't have many expectations, but the Spurs always exceed expectations. Don't expect anything less this year. So these are Rudy's thoughts. You look at this statement, and what do you think?
Well, that's the one name that I left out on purpose because I am so happy for Rudy, and I'm happy for San Antonio that he returned. A little hesitation there, both sides trying to agree that, yeah, this is probably the best place for you, and you always wait till that last second to see if that better offer comes in.
Of course.
But eventually, I think Rudy felt comfortable. I think he liked his role. I think he liked how Pop used him in the system. And I think they have enough. I think he thinks they have enough talent to win a large amount of games this year in the Western Conference. So I'm glad he's back with them.
Now, we've seen San Antonio struggle in the postseason the last 2 years, being eliminated by Golden State. Your prospects for them reaching the postseason, do you think this is a team that could potentially advance?
Once again, we know it winds up with who do you match up with if you get there, particularly in the Western Conference that is so tough. Who do you match up with in that first round? Not many people have been successful if you get Golden State in that first round. So we'll see what happens during the course of the year. See if they get there first, and then if they do, you're in, you got a chance.
That's right. You'll always have a chance if you get in. The NBA family mourns the loss of Bob Bass, a two-time NBA Executive of the Year who spent 20 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs and nearly a decade as general manager of the Charlotte Hornets. During his 20 seasons with the Spurs, most of which were spent in the front office, the team advanced the playoffs 17 times, including 3 trips to the conference finals. Bass, who was named NBA Executive of the Year in 1990, left San Antonio in 1994 and was hired as the general manager of the Charlotte Hornets, who made the playoffs in 7 of his 9 seasons. In 1997, he earned his second Executive of the Year honor. Bass retired in 2004.
Well, I played at a small college in Oklahoma, Oklahoma Baptist University. And I got hooked on it playing, decided to go into coaching when I got out.
He was wide open right down in there. All we got to do is just find that man.
When the ABA went into NBA and we were part of it, the ultimate goal was to go in there. And that was one of the most exciting times for me and for this franchise. Well, when I got ready to retire, it's a situation that I'm proud of. What do you call that? American dream.
The WNBA playoffs continue Thursday on ESPN2. Sparks, Mystics, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Then you have Diana Taurasi going back home to Connecticut to face the Sun at 8:30 p.m. And, of course, after the games for scores, highlights, and analysis, expert analysis, come to Game Time only on NBATV. Now, last week, Steph Curry had a basketball camp for a lot of young ladies that have handles and can knock down the J with the best of them. Curry always giving back to the youth and potentially some future WNBA players out there on the court learning to shoot just like Steph, knocking them down in the corner. Now, that was a great practice moment, but this practice moment right here set the internet abuzz, and we go at the buzzer. There is Kawhi Leonard along with LeBron James and Kevin Durant, of course, all working out together. Coach, when you saw this, what were your first thoughts?
I want to know who was buying dinner that night. That's what I want to know. Which one of those guys is going to reach in their pocket and come up with the cash to pay for dinner?
Oh, man, shouts out to Phil Handy right there, organizing everybody, and Jetty Osman there as well. There's a good group of small forwards right there. A lot of great wing players in that group. I mean, when you see guys like this working out together, is this something that's common in your eyes?
I'm not sure people really understand how much time players put into the game away from the court when the regular season is over and done. Yeah, we may see some photos of them away on vacation with their family for a week or so, but they're right back at it again to work on their bodies, which have to handle the 82-game schedule, and then after that, 4 rounds of the playoffs if you go into the finals.
Now, you don't know if there was any potential recruiting done by a certain LeBron James, do you?
What could he possibly be thinking of?
No, of course, that would, obviously be tampering. That's something that we don't endorse right here on NBA TV. But it will be interesting because there are a number of free agents coming in 2019, including one Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant. Who
Will
are
we
both
please play this season first?
All right,
Stop
Coach.
worried about next season.
Coach, you make a great point. We'll wait. The season's coming soon. Parish, Mike Fratello. We're out of here. It is game time on your screen, the best 30 minutes of your day. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Parish, alongside the legendary czar, the telestrator, Mike Fratello. Playoff time, baby.
Playoff time.
Elimination. Can't wait for it. The WNBA is officially popping, and elimination is about to begin. First game of the night, we have the Dallas Wings taking on the Phoenix Mercury. Phoenix Mercury, of course, have a lot of experience. The GOAT, as some people say, Diana Taurasi, who was the all-time leading scorer in league history.
Well, they're loaded. They have a bunch of players that can put a lot of points on the board, and that's what they did tonight in game number 1. This is a tough group to handle, and now they move on and play Connecticut next round.
Yes, they will. But let's show you how it all went down earlier tonight. From Arizona State, there is Brittany Griner. Now, the Mercury have won their last 4 regular season games by a total of 12 points per game. That's crazy. Diana Taurasi, as I mentioned her earlier, she's leading the charge early. Layup and 1. 17 right there. Not 17 yet. 17 points for Brittany Griner, who Diana Taurasi finds right there. Phoenix up 29-24. Now, the Wings have struggled. They lost 10 of their last 11 regular season games, but they're staying close right here, Coach.
Well, somebody's got to give Skylar Diggins-Smith a little bit of help out there. Alicia Gray just had a tough night making shots, 0 for 7 from the floor.
Liz Cambage giving Skylar Diggins-Smith some help. She had 22 points in the game. The Mercury, final seconds before halftime. Diana Taurasi, shot clock dying. Diana does it again, gets a tweet in from LeBron James. You got to love when the GOAT talks about the GOAT.
Taurasi, 6 of 12 from behind the three-point line.
Twitter fingers, of course, 16 points, 8 assists at the half. Mercury had advantages in three-point percentage and field goal percentage, and it was all about the Mercury in the third quarter. How about that no-look pass right there?
45% from behind the three-point line for the Mercury, just 21% for the Wings.
The Mercury outscored the Wings 26-15 in the third quarter, and you know it's your night when you're hitting shots off the glass like that. DeWanna Bonner making things happen.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. She's filling this up right now. Swaggerific War Eagle, a playoff career high tonight, 29 points and 11 rebounds. Oh, yeah, the bank is open. Direct deposit, please, and thank you. Phoenix up big. The score balloons to a 20-point lead. And it is all Diana Taurasi. A playoff career high in assists, 26 points. After the game, check out what she had to say.
We went in the second half and made some adjustments. I think we clogged up the paint a little bit and had to stop Liz. She's alone down there, but I think we all played together. Some shots went in, luckily, and we got rolling a little bit.
You survived your first single elimination game. Now you travel to Connecticut, where you guys won this regular season series 2-1. What is it going to take to keep this going?
They're a tough team at home. It's a hard place to win, but we'll go and prepare the little time that we have. We just got to keep continuing doing what we're doing. I think we're playing pretty good offense and defense, but it's going to be really tough to win there.
My first taste of the playoffs, and it's left a bitter taste in my mouth. I love this team. I've loved my time in Dallas. I'm heartbroken. It's that it's come to an end. I'm just gonna miss seeing these girls every day, and that little taste. It makes me want more. Makes me want to do more. Makes me want to be better. Makes me want to be better with my team. So I've said, I gotta see how I'm feeling after China, but I want to be here talking about a win next year. I want to be here. I want a ring.
The Lynx and the Sparks, this is the fourth consecutive postseason that these two teams will meet, and the winner travels to Washington to take on the Mystics. There is Russell Westbrook. Selfie. Rajon Rondo, new member of the Los Angeles Lakers, and they were balling early on. Maya Moore has struggled all season against the Sparks, but she came out aggressive early.
Those guys pay for tickets, or you get for free?
I think they probably didn't pay for those. Something tells me that. Little perks. It's good when you're a good player in the NBA. There is fouls right there, getting the jump hook. Minnesota up, but then the Sparks would come out and they would be gunning. Layup. Nice. More Sparks. Sometimes when it's your night, it's your night. The loose ball finds the basket, and Candace Parker loves that on the bench. She was struggling early, only had 2 points at the half. There's another level. What happens when you get in traffic like that, Coach?
Well, you see time and time again the defense being so porous, particularly in the lane, whether it's transition or in the half-court area.
Deep three right there. Chelsea Gray impacting it. The third leading scorer, making things happen tremendously. Not afraid of the big moment.
Sparks really pushing the ball, pitching it ahead, getting the open look in transition, and no hesitation to pull the trigger on that one.
No hesitation at all. Candace Parker sitting on the bench, getting tended to by the medical staff later on in the third quarter. There's Maya Moore. She knows about the big moments, knocks down the three from the top of the key. Lindsay Whalen, this is her swan song. Could this be her last game in Minnesota? Definitely letting her presence be known, and look at that reverse right there. Highly impressive in the painted area. Sylvia Fowles doing work. Fourth quarter, Sparks up by 3 in this game, is still in progress. 72-68 is the score right now in a winner-take-all as they will advance. The winner will advance and play the Washington Mystics. So seeing two teams like this that are rivals in a sense, when you look at these type of games, what does it make you think of when you see these two competitive teams?
Isn't the big thing that, to me that jumps out at you is you have these two teams having to meet in the first round of the playoffs. So somebody's going home quickly rather than move on. And that's what happens sometimes when things don't go the way you want during the regular season. You wind up in a spot with a seed that maybe you weren't thinking you were going to be there, but suddenly you look up and you go, uh-oh, that's who we have to play against? That's what happened to these two.
Two storied franchises indeed. We all know the Mercury. We know the Lynx have been very successful, winning 4 championships in this 7-year run with this group of players. You also have the Mercury, who have a number of WNBA titles. Between these two teams, coming down to the stretch, do you think one team has an advantage?
Well, if you've been there before and you've gone deep into the playoffs, to me, that's always an advantage because you can go back, remember the times, the tough times, the perseverance you had to have to move on to the next round. So the team that has the most people that have gone the furthest, you got to give them a little bit of advantage.
Indeed, experience is always important. Well, he was the first player in NCAA history to lead the NCAA in scoring and assists. Did it as a freshman, but will that success translate to the next level for the Hawks lockpick? Nassar gives us his thoughts next on GameTime.